Today I am going to get relationship advice from Spirit at the time you view this video. So whatever relationship you're struggling with in your life or wondering about, that's what this information is going to, whoa, did you see that card? That's what this information is going to be related to. Whoa, they're a little jumpy, which is kind of exciting. All right, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, or excuse me, Four of Pentacles in reverse. Let's get one more card. Relationship advice at the time they view this video. One more card, please. Okay. So we've got Four of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Oh my gosh, Nine of Pentacles came out. That's wild. And then High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. So I guess what the Pentacle cards are speaking to me about in this reading is some sort of energy leak that's going on. And since it is Pentacles cards, I think it's like an energy leak in terms of the physical resources we have to work with in our physical bodies. So that could be time, that could be money, that could be attention. Okay? And I think the reason they're speaking to me about an energy leak in this particular reading is these kept coming to me, or keep coming to me, as like bowls. And it's like a spilling of these pentacles, which is like the energy that you have to work with, right? And so there's like spilling out. And you know what's interesting? So like Four of Pentacles oftentimes to me can represent like a kind of a clinging energy. And you see how like in this particular expression of it, there's like, in terms of the imagery, there's like, it's like kind of looks like bowls or half spheres, and then it's like being propped up. So oftentimes Four of Pentacles to me can represent like the illusion of things being okay, but like really there's not a strong foundation here. Now it's interesting when it's coming out this way, because I feel like what it's saying is like, it's collapsing. So any illusion of balance is collapsing, which is difficult. So if you're going through a difficult period in this particular relationship, that makes sense. And I'm sorry that it's difficult. It's difficult to go through difficult periods. So profound. But truly, it is difficult. But the good news about this is you're not losing any actual balance, you're just losing the illusion of balance. Now with Nine of Pentacles is a very self-sufficient card. So when it's in reversed, again, I just feel what's very noteworthy to me about these two coming out in this way is it just feels like these shapes are representing like bowls, which to me in this reading is like representing the holding of energy or something like that. And then it just feels like it's spilling out. Does that make sense? And then again, the illusion of balance is crumbling. And so I think the advice from Spirit at the time you view this video for this particular relationship is to be willing to look at these energetic leaks and where your resources, your time, your money, your attention is being funneled in a way that is causing this sort of experience where it's spilling out. Now, the amazing thing here is the purpose of this relationship journey, the purpose of being that advice from Spirit being asked to do that is the High Priestess, meaning when you're able to, I don't even want to say turn this one upside down, because again, I feel like even upright, it mostly to me gives me the illusion of balance. So when you're able to recognize that illusion of balance is crumbling, that's difficult, and you're willing to feel those feelings, but you're not trying to like patch an illusion back together. And instead you go to, and this is the key here, you go to the, what am I trying to say? You go towards the purpose of turning Nine of Pentacles from reverse to upright, where your energy isn't leaking, it's not spilling. That journey is for the purpose of helping you embody High Priestess energy. And you know what? I just like recently started this channel, and I cannot tell you how many times the High Priestesses come out. So those of you who are attracted to this channel, there is something about High Priestess energy that is very, very strong. I feel like it's come out maybe like 3 or 4 times, and I haven't done that many readings yet for this channel. So that's noteworthy. If you are in a time period where you're really resonating with High Priestess energy, that makes sense to me. Now, the High Priestess is somebody who, like, she's probably the opposite of energy leaks. Do you know what I'm saying? Like look at the beauty of this card. Like, it knows, the High Priestess knows who she is, right? And energy is flowing in a direction that's intentional. Now, I don't mean to like call you out and be like, you don't know who you are. I don't think that it's that at all. I just think in this particular relationship, you are being asked to look at where you aren't acting like the High Priestess, because there's probably a lot of areas of life where you are, and maybe even within this relationship, there's a lot of areas within the relationship that you are. But I think the advice from Spirit about this relationship at the time you view this video is, would you be willing to look at the areas where you're not and face that for the purpose of becoming more of the High Priestess? Does that make sense? And then also, like, for the purpose of collapsing illusions, to live in the actual Nine of Pentacles, where you're self-sufficient, where things feel relatively balanced, where your spiritual life is good, but also your material life, your physical life is going well. Do you know what I mean? Like Nine of Pentacles is beautiful, beautiful energy. So does that make sense? So there's just this request, this advice from Spirit where it's like, would you just be willing to look at where it's not going well so that you can just become more of what you already are, which is the High Priestess? You know what I mean? So this isn't like any sort of like scolding, or like you're not even close to being the High Priestess. I think I'm getting the strong sense that those of you tuning in are a lot of times embodying High Priestess energy. So sometimes then it can be easy to go, I'm speaking from experience here, it can be easy to go into ego when there's a lot of areas of your life, or there's a lot of times in your life when you are feeling this. Do you know what I'm saying? When you like know who you are, you know what you're up to, you have clear-cut energy, you are funneling it right. But then sometimes we can tell ourselves like, I just am the High Priestess all the time. Instead of keeping that, keeping some beautiful humility to our life, and not humility in like a sense where you're like yielding power, but humility where it's like, I'm willing to look, I do feel like the High Priestess a lot of the time, and I'm willing to look at the places in my life where I don't, and I'm willing to learn from that. I feel like that's what is being asked. So it's, I guess what's coming to me is like looking into shadow work, I think would be really powerful for you. And it's like what no one wants to hear. So I apologize to deliver the bad news, but, and like excuse me. See how excited I got? Doing shadow work in my life, meaning, what is shadow work? Trying to bring the unconscious stuff to conscious awareness, right? And looking at it. Shadow work is basically just like self-reflection, looking at things. Instead of putting this veil over it. So what I was going to say is like shadow work is the most difficult work, and it's the most rewarding work. And shadow work is often the easiest to do in relationships. Like, it's the hardest to do in relationships, but it's also the easiest because relationships show us things. Does that make sense? And so relationships reveal. And so sometimes when we're struggling in relationships, all that's happening is our shadow, the unconscious stuff, is willing to come to the surface if we're willing to see it. And I think that's what's happening here. So whether this entire relationship you're struggling in it, or there's just bits and pieces of it that you're struggling, the good news is it's just, I think it's just an opportunity to do some deeper level shadow work, to look at what is willing and wanting to go from unconscious to conscious, because that's definitely going to add to the High Priestess energy that you're already practicing and that you're already embodying. And with that, again, the huge benefit is not only do you get to embody the High Priestess more, which is just fun, amazing energy. But then the illusion of balance can retire, and you can go from Nine of Pentacles in reverse to Nine of Pentacles upright, where you are experiencing the freedom and self-sufficiency. But also, why are you experiencing that? Because of your energetic alignment, your like crispness of energy, your holding of energy, your lack of leaking out. Does that lack of spilling out? There's comfort in having agency over our energy. And I mean, agency over energy is one cool way to describe the High Priestess. And I think that's what is the invitation here. So it's actually very, very exciting. And I don't mean to undermine any discomfort you're going through in this relationship. With that being said, though, I do think if you're willing to take this invitation, take this advice from Spirit, I think there's like so much potential for you to resolve what needs to be resolved, whether that means you stay or go with this person, but within yourself, to find resolution and to move your life forward in the most beneficial way. So good luck. Kudos to you. And may you be willing to meet more of your shadow parts and bring some light and kindness to them.